Hey guys, today I'm gonna be sharing a guide on the Stalker class. Well, recently this class has been really down the drain, but just today, July 16, Ragnarok Origin finally decided to give some love to this class. So there's a couple of changes that were done to this class during this patch, but it mostly involves the passive skill. And with the addition to the new shadow weapon attribute, you can now deal about 50% more damage to holy monsters. So things like Jupiter's or even some MVPs like Angeling is gonna definitely go smoothly for you now. So to start off on the short class guide that I have for this Stalker class, we're gonna start with the basic stats. Basic stats for Stalker mainly aims for 99 agi and more or less 97 strength. You don't really need a lot of crit here because innately you're gonna be getting a lot of crit already.
Nice.
And on PvE you won't be needing too much crit. You're only gonna need crit on PvP. And so far I've tried this class once in Dimension Drill and it's been really great. Not the best compared to Sin X of course, because you can be invisible while hitting, but nevertheless it's still good. So here, these are my stats for PvE, and overall you'll see that I have about 9,661 physical attack unbuffed, meaning I haven't received any buffs from the priest yet. Oh, never mind, it's actually 8,500. This is before the true sight buff. So these buffs are before the priest buffs, so expect around 11.5k or so once you get those full buffs in. I haven't really tried getting like the maximum buffs, including with the Gypsy's crit damage, but I assure you it's pretty high. It's goddamn high. Next up, we have our attack speed. So currently I have 343% attack speed. This is unbuffed with my concentration potion, but with the priest buffs and my buffs included, it's gonna reach about 403, I believe, or 8. And in addition to the bard, it's gonna reach around 420. So yeah, it's a pretty good buff overall, and as much as possible you want to reach around 450 at least, so you can maximize the usage of the backstab. And I kid you not, backstab really deals a shit ton of damage right now. For the next one, we have our crit. Let me just try buffing myself for true sight there. So now we can see, okay, so crit is around 135, crit damage 53, physical damage 167, ignore def of 2200. So that's basically it for my basic stats. Now we move on to the skills. The things they added here on the new patch consist of the Phantom Spree, and they reworked Rampage and Slyness. So what they did here is they increased the damage or the crit damage of Slyness by around 10% in melee stance, and 10% as well in range stance. But most of the time you're gonna be in melee stance, so you're gonna be getting a lot of crit damage. Also, on the Rampage kill, previously this was just 15% physical damage bonus for targets that are, I'd say, if they were on bleeding status or if they were on a negative buff or a negative debuff. But now they made it so that you get a fixed 15% physical and magical damage, along with 10% damage to dragon, fish, and insect. NT, by the way, this is NT 14 and 15. And you also get 10% large enemies, 10% damage to large enemies. So once again, this is a total buff on our side, especially on NT and MVP hunting. Next we have Rampage. Oh, I'm kidding. Next we have the last skill that was added, which is Phantom Spree. Phantom Spree adds your, or cloaks your weapon with the dark attribute. So this is especially good for holy monsters, mobs, MVPs. But I'm guessing they're mainly targeting this on people in PvP, because most of the people now have Angelings. Like I can see every time I try to hit someone I get this minus, I don't know, 25% or something damage due to them wearing an Angeling card. But with the help of this buff, I'm sure it's gonna do more damage now. So yeah, nothing else was really changed on the other skills. Maybe increasing the range of the range version of backstab, which is piercing shot, but I'm guessing it might do something in PvP. I haven't tried yet, but I'll try it out soon on our next guild league. So that's it for my skills. Now we proceed with my equipments. For my equipments, I'm mainly running the Elf Divine Armament paired with the White Wing Maelstrom Cloak. Now, I've tried with tiers, but I'm getting more overall damage with the White Wing Maelstrom. But I'm guessing it's mainly because most of my enchants, which I'll be talking about later on, is also comprising of melee boon. Now we have the cards. So for my cards, I'm running Cramp on my headwears, Goblin Puppets on my face, and I have a Doppelganger and a Baby Pacifier in my mouth, a couple of Drake Puppets on my banners or back. On my costume, it's Baphomet cards, because it's the only thing we have right now. On the equipments, on the accessories, I have one Greatest General and one Illusion Wild Baron Plus star card. So the purpose of this Illusion Wild Baron is I'm mainly relying on my luck here to get some additional physical damage in, because it's only granting us about a 4% chance to grant 12% plus 2.5, so that's 14.5% for 6 seconds with a cooldown of 12. So it's not a bad addition, but it's better than Stem Worm overall, I'd say. Next is one Greatest General and one Stem Worm. So yeah, initially I had 2 Stem Worms equipped, but then I found that having one Albaron over a second Stem Worm is better, because at least I'm getting twice the chance of getting a card effect on either. Next we have my boots. It's basically just the free ML cards. Then we have the cloak. I have this as Bafo Juniors during PvE, but on PvP I go for yo-yos, because I take my chances on getting complete damage evasion on the Choco cards. Next we have the armor, which is Angeling, and yeah, I'm pretty lucky to get this card on my first MVP draw. And on the weapon, it's mostly just different racial cards, size cards, depending on what you have and on the situation. So that's it for my cards, and then we have our enchants, which is mostly melee boon. So here I have superior attack 4, PvE technique 5. I changed this to P-def or M-def on PvP depending on what I'm dying mostly to. Same with my mouth, along with my armor. Armor is dependent. I either go for counter crit or just Vit boost if I want more HP. For my weapon, I have melee boon 7, and on the garment and on the boots, it's mostly just stats, luck. But on PvP, you can get counter crit, Vit boost, anti-magic damage depending on what you need. For my accessories, I have melee boon 6, and on the second one, I still have another melee boon with 2 instances of crit. On my back, I have superior P attack again, and on my costume, I have superior P attack as well. So it's basically just enhancing your physical stats overall. And what I did was I evenly split it between all my equipments, because previously I was a bard, so I was forced to try to balance everything out, which is why more or less all of my equips have a balanced enchant number. But yeah, it's basically it. Then we have what else do we need? For the pets. For the pets, I mainly just go for either Squidget or the Dr. Owl. And then on the Astrocore, the new Astrocore that we have, I'm not really familiar with this yet, so I'm just balancing everything out, because I'm seeing more physical attack added if I just evenly spread it out rather than just focus it all in one. For defensives, same thing. For the medals, I currently have 60 on both Bravery and Heroism, and I spread out the defensives between Charm and Tempest. Next, for the mount, on my equipment, it's all 49, but I'm probably planning to increase my dexterity first, so I can get more PvP redux and physical attack. Afterwards, I'll be increasing on the traits, the Brave and Charisma, currently at 882 and 775. And then, yeah, that's basically it on what I have on the equips, enchants, cards, the Astrocore medal. We can now proceed with the damage test part. So, for this instance, I'll be testing out my damage with Moonlight Flower. Let me just recover that HP. There we go. Okay, so I'll be testing out the damage with Moonlight Flower. And then for that, I'll be using my medium demon card, which comprises of a Skull Worker and 2 Straff cards. So when you do a damage test on this class, I would prefer to do it with a priest, because you're gonna be in an open world and mostly doing PvE, or maybe even in guild leagues. You'll be most of the time with the priest, so you're gonna want to have a priest view, doing full buffs and everything. So in this case, I'll be buffing myself with my priest that I have here on the other side, and I'll be doing a damage test. This damage test also comes with the Lex, so don't be too shocked with how much I'm dealing. So here we go. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing a 1-minute damage test to see how much I'm dealing overall. So yeah, I'm currently sitting at 27 million, 26 million DPS. And already about 430 million overall. So I'm just gonna keep hitting that with my pre-selects. It's actually pretty good. It's a pretty fun class, or the state of the class is in right now is not really that bad. So there's a lot that you can do. And you can also get PRs already. This reminds me of when I was using a champion back then, wherein champions are also dealing a lot of damage after they got buffed. So yeah, we're already at 49 seconds, 50, 51. There we go, let's pause it. So yeah, as you can see, I'm dealing about 26,339,815 DPS on average on ML, and a total of around just 1.5 billion, or is this 15? I don't know. So yeah, it's actually those numbers there, but what's more important is the DPS which I'm getting. So that's how much I'm dealing overall on ML, and I'm guessing it only gets better in the long run, especially on season 3, wherein they released the Holy Bolt Divine Armament, which makes this class even better. So I'm expecting a lot from this class, and seeing as there really isn't any other guides for it yet that I'm seeing online, leads me to believe that this class needs to have more love. So yeah, that's it for me guys, and I'll be sharing more videos about this class in the future. Thank you.